Many people looking for a supplier in China think one thing matters above all else, and that's getting the lowest price. But here's the thing, this exact strategy can cost you way more in the long run. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why choosing the cheapest supplier is often the most expensive mistake. I've seen this play out over and over again, from startups trying to get their first product made to seven-figure brands that had to backtrack because they chased the lowest price they could find. If you push them hard to cut price, they might also cut the quality. They'll just never tell you outright, but quietly they might be downgrading materials, skipping inspection steps, or cutting corners just to hit your target. So, before you jump at the lowest price, ask yourself this: what are they cutting to hit that number? And more importantly, did I actually push them into doing that? A cheap unit price doesn't matter much if your product fails. Customer return your product, or your brand reputation is taking a massive hit. You might have saved 20 cents on a unit, but $20,000 in returns. Quality control always costs something. If a supplier is quoting far lower than others, then there's a good chance that they're not budgeting for any proper quality control. Maybe they don't test the components, maybe they don't run final inspections, or maybe actually their workers are poorly trained or rush through the entire production. This is where a lot of the hidden costs actually come in, because even if some units pass inspection, inconsistency will kill your business in the long term. It's not always obvious at first. I've seen batches that looked fine on the surface, but 1, 2, 3 months later, customers start complaining about cracks, peeling, or major defects, and that's when the real cost actually hits. Cheap suppliers often lack processes. Another big issue with low-cost suppliers is their lack of systems. They might not have a real BOM, which is bill of materials. They might not have a proper order tracking system. They might not also even document their own manufacturing process. So, if anything goes wrong, and something will go wrong, it always does in manufacturing, then this factory has no way of tracing the problem or eventually fixing it. You want a supplier that has structure, knows where the materials are coming from, that actually tracks its workers' output, and runs checks and balances on everything. This kind of supplier, it's never the absolute cheapest, but it's reliable. And reliability is what makes you money. Here's a quick list of what a lowball quote from a factory might actually leave out. Proper packaging, especially packaging that's export ready, lab testing or compliance documentation, spare parts or no after sales support. Buffer time for QC issues might also be gone, but most importantly, full transparency will be gone because they don't want you to ask questions. So by the time that you add that all back in later or deal with any problems caused by skipping them, you're not actually saving anything, you're paying more. Now, here's what I've learned after doing this for years. The best suppliers usually aren't the cheapest, unsurprisingly, if you're watching the video. The best ones are the ones which ask questions, the ones which push back if something doesn't make sense, the ones that tell you, we can't do this unless you change X, Y, and Z part of the product. This is exactly the kind of supplier you want to work with. If a supplier agrees to everything, never questions your spec, and offers the lowest price on the first message, that's a huge red flag. It's not a win. You want a supplier who takes your product as seriously as you do. Now let me say this clearly. The cheapest quote is rarely the best option. Yes, cost matters, but value matters more. What you're looking for is a supplier who can deliver consistent quality, real good communication, long-term reliability, and most of all, you want to pay a fair price, one which actually reflects what you're getting. So, next time you see a supplier quoting way below the rest, don't celebrate. Ask them questions, because saving a few cents up front might cost you your product, your margins, and your peace of mind. Play the long game, and you'll win every time.